Hello, hello, hello. ¿Cómo están? Buen día, buen día, buen día. Exitosos. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Bienvenidos, bienvenidos a su espacio en Cashbootcamp. Acá estamos conectándonos hoy. Vamos a hablar de temas súper importantes. So for those of you who, I know you guys, I know you've been asking me to talk about this important information in English. So stay put because today we have a special guest and we are going to talk about if you biting the apple or not biting the apple. Pero primero, hoy es 6 de agosto, so es Bolivian Independence Day. Felicidades a todos los bolivianos. Sé que estamos pasando por una época súper complicada en la historia de nuestro país, en todo lo que estamos haciendo. Y obviamente es difícil tener una celebración en medio de tanto problema, pero recuerden, ¿no? Los problemas, las explosiones, absolutamente todo lo que mueve nuestro territorio, nuestro entorno, siempre nos van a traer progreso en algún momento. Así que hay que tomar como estos problemas, como estos movimientos, como unas lecciones de crecimiento para poder avanzar al siguiente nivel de nuestras vidas y pues salir de ellos, porque no existe progreso sin problemas, no existe éxito sin crisis, no existe absolutamente nada que tú puedas crecer si no tienes algún tipo de problema. Así que a todo el mundo, a todas las personas que están pasando por crisis, es definitivamente sí, es complicado, pero todo se empieza agradeciendo. Cuando uno es agradecido por todo lo bueno, lo malo, lo que recibimos, lo que perdemos, y estamos agradecidos y entendemos que existe una fuerza mucho más grande que nosotros, ahí arriba, nuestro creador, entonces entiendes que no importa cuán mal tú la estés pasando, simplemente somos inquilinos. El dueño de casa, el dueño de este planeta está el que lo creó, y estando agradecidos con él es como vamos a avanzar. Así que de ahí es de donde nace toda esta fuerza que todos tenemos que tener, pues en este momento solamente la unidad es lo que nos va a mantener adelante, solamente estar unidos en comunidad es lo que nos va a salir adelante. Pero vamos a traer, sin más ni más, son muchísimos announcements, pero voy a traer a mi invitada, la doctora María Schwartz, que va a hablarnos de un tema súper importante. So for those of you that I know, when you focus on something, like let's say you focus in a car, right? You want a specific car that you didn't even notice before in the past. And then when you know, like let's say it's a Lexus, right? And then all of a sudden you see Lexus all around it, right? You see them all the time, you're reading about it. And I know right now the talk in the news everywhere you have been hearing about Apple. What's Apple, what's happening in the stock market. And today I have a special guest with me, Dr. Maria Schwartz, that's going to tell us something that you definitely don't want to miss. So make sure you stay put. Let me bring her on. So Maria, Dr. Maria, thank you so much for coming to our space once again. We are super excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here again. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So Maria, how are you? How you been since last time we were able to be live here with everyone?
It's been amazing, guys. The Schwartz trading team has been doing so well, and our profits have grown from 22% in June to 100% to 100,000 as of today. And
it's insane.
22,000 in June was just where we were after a 5,000 investment back in April. And a lot of our traders are also doing great. The younger folks that are participating in our SWAT trading program are loving the live sessions, and they're getting so much value that you really can't get in many of the programs out there. And one of the things that I think is the core value of our program is that we really try not to hype up the profits. Yes, we're getting the profits, there's no guarantee in the stock market with the profits that you're going to get. But one of the things that we do guarantee is that you will learn the trader's mindset. You will learn how to really protect your investment and how to manage your investment effectively with the variety of different strategies that may be best fit for you and your preference in investment. So we don't use a specific one strategy. We don't use, some out of the box strategy. We teach you how to learn the indicators and how to really read the market. And I think that's the core to your investments out there.
Yes, and that is amazing of what you just said, because it is so important. Some people they're always just concentrate so much, especially when it comes to stock market. It's very important that you understand that it is an investment, just like buying a house. You're not going to see your return immediately. It's not what you read in the fancy magazines. Normally people they think, oh yeah, I'm gonna make so much money in the stock market, because the stock market goes to stages. It's like a roller coaster, right? And you just have to ride the waves. Once you get in, it's different to know what's happening, or at least have an idea. Because at the end of the day, one and you know a lot about this subject. Every money that you have right now, whether you have it in an IRA, whether it's a 401k, whether it's in a life insurance, checking account, CD account, any institution except under your mattress, that money is
No, you say that, but there's so many people out there that still keep money under the mattress in their bank account where it depreciates, right?
Yes.
And I know many of you guys are probably thinking, well, money in my bank isn't depreciating. But if you think about the actual growth of how much the things in our life increase in value every year, it's said that the yearly growth is 2 to 3%, but the actual growth is 6 to 7%. So unless you're making that in the bank, your money is depreciating in value.
Correct.
And Admi, you are a huge proponent of having 10,000 per person savings fund, right, for an emergency. But beyond that, anything that you have in the bank that is just sitting there is really losing value daily.
Yes. And that's one thing that is so important. So just for our hola Julia, ¿cómo estás? So just como que más o menos para aclarar, ¿no? Entonces, a las personas que todas las personas que están en este momento, si tú tienes tu dinero en una cuenta bancaria, en un IRA, en un foro, en un 401k, está en el banco, en un depósito fijo, en cualquier lugar que tú estés, es más, hasta el dinero que tú pagas de tu casa está siendo invertido en la bolsa de valores, excepto la que tienes bajo tu colchón, ¿no? Y el detalle es que el dinero, lo que se está devaluando y perdiendo su valor, ¿no? Eso es lo más peligroso para tu economía. Maria, it's just like what I'm saying is that not understanding how money depreciates is the lethal, is the most important part that, people sometimes we don't understand, because we don't know the knowledge.
Well, I think it's a little bit more than that. I think majority of the schools don't educate us on finances. And we're thrown into the adult world without the knowledge of what we're doing with the finances. And we see so many people lending money and borrowing money and taking student loans out, all of these vehicles that are available to us without full understanding of what we're doing and the ramifications that come with borrowing money from somebody else, having to pay them interest on that money, and really what we're getting out of it. If we just think about credit cards alone, credit cards charge you 17.5% to 25%, 26% on the money that you borrow from them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I am a proponent of having credit cards. I'll be the first to tell you guys, go ahead and get a credit card, because the money that you spend on the credit card, you can pay off at the end of the month and still use the money in your bank for other investments or other things that you need to do. And the credit cards will pay you 1% back. But if you think about the money that we borrow from credit cards, and let's say we don't pay that money back to the credit card every month, in a matter of 4 years, the money that you owe to the credit card will double. Just 4 years, right? So that's insane if we think about the money that we're borrowing from different institutions.
Correct. And even in the other part is, so we don't look at interest rates because it's like, there's so much advertising. I always mention this, right? There's not enough advertising about getting your investments and also not getting in debt or buying things cash, right? We come from cultures, like for instance, my family, my mom was like, no, you know what? I don't want to own anything to anybody. She just wants to buy cash, right? She just hates owning money to people. And then when it comes to investment though, right, she would just go, the moment, because once you have the power of managing your cash and understanding, that's really the financial freedom, that the mindset of being free. Some people, they kind of, I think they have this illusion because they see all these commercials. Oh, I want to have financial freedom, staying at home and not doing nothing. And no, that doesn't work that way. What would you say financial freedom is for you? Because I know you have a few investments and you're big on these things. How would you articulate what's financial freedom for you?
I think financial freedom for me is translated into creating enough multiple streams of cash flows and guaranteeing that when I am ready to retire, I have enough cash flows coming in from these different sources to guarantee me the same lifestyle as I live today. That to me is financial freedom. Plus, if that can be accompanied by me spending less time and getting the same amounts of cash coming in from different sources, then it's a win-win. Essentially, we're all looking to make money from our money. If we look at it that way, right, we want to invest the money that we have and have that money bring us a return by making money on its own, without us having to put extra work into it.
Correct.
That's ultimate freedom, right? But if we can't do that by working a job somewhere, right? Because obviously we can't invest into a job. We invest time, which is money, but we can't invest money into a job. So we have to put in work in order to generate that money. If there's a vehicle where we can just put our earned money into and the money just generates money on its own, then it's a win-win.
Correct. So, it's basically, I talk a lot about this, it's basically having, the way I put it, as a financial coach, is that covering all your expenses, your living expenses, right, with your investments, like the results of your investments, without you having to move one physical finger, right?
Yeah.
Then you're free. And that freedom really has to do with freeing your time so you can concentrate on what you love, on achieving your dreams, and I think that's the quest that we're looking for. And the key is not to give up, because once you ride in on the roller coaster, normally the way I look at it, the financial kind of path is like, once you go on the roller coaster, if you decide to get out, you're gonna fall, because there's a one point that investment is gonna grow, or you didn't went through the entire roller coaster with it, and then you're gonna have this regret, and there's not gonna be no money, no nothing that is gonna be able to solve that. And then the market is the same way. There's some days you make money, some days you don't make money. And for instance, a lot of people they think real estate is an investment. But I tell them, if your house is not making you money, if you have a 3 bedroom and 2 bathrooms and you live in one of each and you're not renting the rest ones, it is an expense because
For sure.
it's not even going to make you money. And you and I have talked about rentals. If even if your rental is not even making you that extra amount of money, you're not making money. So it's an illusion. So now, with SWOT trading, so this is the website, right? SWOTtrading.com. And now you have a place where you can go and learn every single day. Some people they learn more like visual, right? So I think this is a lot for the
Oh, yeah.
visual learners. Even if you don't know, you don't have an idea what's happening, if you just sit down and see Commander Ashton trade, you're gonna learn something. Yes
Oh,
or yes.
yes, for sure.
Right? So tell us a little bit about what is this SWOT trading offering right now, and I know you have an amazing news for us, something that you've been working on it, so we can just give more solutions to our audience.
So, as of next week, we are launching a unique vehicle to help everyone out there who is too busy to participate in our live trading daily. We are launching a Nitro Fund that, in partnership with Nitrous Holdings, that will help you grow your investments at an exponential rate. It's a high yield profit fund that will perform a lot higher than your regular investment into the most profitable funds out there. And you will have yearly growth that's very much like the growth that we've achieved at SWOT trading. And you could have benefits of that growth, whether you want to buy a house in the near future or you're looking to retire maybe in 5 to 10 years. This is a great investment. I consider it to be a long-term investment rather than a short-term gain because even though we live in this economy right now where things are very unpredictable,
Yeah,
the biggest growth that you're going to get with any of your investments is into the vehicles where you're not touching the money all the time.
correct.
And we know that a lot of us need the cash flow to cover our expenses. So this fund is not intended for your last $500 that you have in your bank account. Okay. This is intended really for investments of money that is just sitting in your bank account and isn't growing revenue for you.
Correct. Yes.
Anything beyond your emergency fund that's sitting in your savings account, you would like to see it grow in a different vehicle by sitting there, this is a perfect fund for you. And we have this fund, the minimum investment is $1,000 and you can go as high as you want investing into this fund. And this fund will offer you really high returns. And we are actually, our goal is to grow at least 75% per year, which
Yes.
is cool.
Super doable. Yes. So, it's so Jason Garcia. Hi, Jason. Thank you for staying here with us. So he has a question. How do you feel about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? So, I think when I'll Maria, you go first, and then I'll go so we can help Jason. And Jason, thank you for sending us this message. We are going to have go to SWOTtrading.com. Go to our Facebook pages. Definitely get into this into this webinar that is coming up, so you can learn more about these funds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But let's give our opinion, because we always get these questions about forex, about crypto, about everything.
Jason, the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has been really big in the last couple of years. It's currently not regulated by the IRS. They're trying to look into regulating it. So profits on that aren't regulated today. But there are many scam companies out there that trade cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And I actually felt victim to that last year when I invested $15,000 into a company thinking that I will increase my investment. And then we ended up losing all the money. And because there's no regulation and there's no accountability for any of those companies, you end up losing the investment and you can't even sue the company or chase them down. So it's very unpredictable. I strongly recommend that any company that you invest with into Forex or cryptocurrency, that you really do the due diligence to check the background for the company, to check if there are any reviews online about the company, and not just their performance, but their accountability and what happens if they don't give you the profits. Because the problem came with not so much the investments as much as the withdrawals, right? So when you're investing money, we were able to withdraw some of it, but then at the end of the day, all of the growth that we made, we weren't able, we lost majority of the money that we invested, basically.
Yes.
And your experience.
Yeah. So honestly, I have not invested in crypto or Bitcoins. I haven't had an experience with it. I've always been on the real estate side, on the investments, on everything. And I just like to stay away from things that are not regulated, right? But I do know a lot of people that they made a good amount of money. There's good companies out there. In fact, we are working with RFA, which is a partner company that they're going to teach you how to trade Forex and how to trade Bitcoin and sports trading also. In fact, so Maria, if you allow me to.
I actually, before you jump into that, Admi, can I just add one more thing?
Of course.
A couple years ago, the banks across the world were looking to add cryptocurrency as the monetary instrument. And I think when that happens, cryptocurrency is going to be a valid currency, and then a lot of these companies are going to be a lot more trustworthy. But until then, it's very volatile. And even if it brings profits, it's not backed by any financial institution. I would just urge you to be careful, right?
Yes.
So the fund that we have is backed by the FDIC, meaning that if the fund doesn't perform well, or if, let's say, the company, the platform that we have the trading on doesn't give us the money, the FDIC guarantees the payout.
Yes.
Whereas the cryptocurrency companies, there is no backing. There's no financial backing for them. So if they lose the money, they lose the money. Nobody's going to reimburse you for that.
Yes, correct. So, and that's one of the things, right? Because especially if you're new into investing, I think there are, yes, you can decide not to learn, which is my experience. Back in the day, I just gave money to a broker. I don't need to say the company. And because it's not the company's fault, it's not my broker's responsibility. It is my responsibility to know where is my money. It is my responsibility to understand what was happening with my money. So, what was the results of it, me learning and just getting immersed on these subjects, right? And yes, like you said, Maria, now we come into the electronic, the cash is going to disappear. The coins are disappearing. So maybe in the future, crypto is going to be a regulated, currency, which so many things already happen, like, come on, drones are going to start delivering boxes in the next few months. They just get approved 4 pounds. They're gonna be, flying all around, and cash is the same way. And we have to be really worried about that, right, Maria? Because the moment coins are starting to disappear, the $1 bills start to disappear, then those are economic signs that inflation is coming. So now more than ever, learning to trade is going to be like learning to use a computer. A lot of people try to stay away as much as they could, and then COVID came, and guess what? Everybody and our grandparents are Zooming. They are understanding so much about technology now, and we were pushed by this. And nothing happens just by default. There is a bigger universe, energy, whatever you want to call it, right? But it's just getting us ready for the next stage, for those who are preparing, for us who are taking this time to reinvent ourselves. Because, why we learning this? Because our business were affected, just like
Well,
yours.
Admi, you bring up a really good point, right? There's lack of transparency in some of the other companies out there.
Yes.
And a part of the spot trading team, we really try to ensure transparency. And as part of that goal, we are asking all of the people that invest into the Nitro Fund to take part in our live classes and to see how the funds are performing live, and to also learn about how these investments are being made so that they have a better understanding of what's happening. Because listen, today we're investing the money for them. Down the road, they may want to invest the money themselves using the same strategies, the same vehicles.
Yes.
We don't want to be the only blockage holders, right, of the funds that you guys are investing. If you have the power to sit at home and the patience to sit at home and do this, or if you have the time to do it, right? Maybe today you don't have the time, but in a year you're no longer working, you're unemployed, or you're retired and you want to do this, this is a great opportunity, right? For you to invest with us today, and then in a year take the money out, use the same strategies, and invest it on your own without paying any fees to a broker or anybody else.
Correct. That is such an amazing point that you made, that you bring, Maria, when it comes to the transparency, right? And there are
Right.
two factors that is very, very, very important to mention here. There are two type of leadership, or two type of companies in this industry, right? The ones that let's talk about the transparency part of it, right? Your 401k money, that money that you think is going to be there for you, that is not guaranteed. But I don't know where, somewhere during translation, I don't know how the message got misled, that this money is guaranteed and it's going to be for you when you're retired. It's not. That money is being invested in the stock market, and you don't know what's happening. You cannot even call the company that is managing the fund to ask, hey, can you tell me what's happening with my money? When the news are crazy, you just don't know where to go. With Nitro's Fund, because they're education driven, you have the option. You're gonna have the window wide open for you to come to SWOT trading live sessions. You're gonna be able to see how the fund is growing. I've been seeing, you guys have to come to the presentation that Maria and I are gonna have, that we are going to show you how from $5,000 now this fund is almost $100,000, and it's not to brag, right? It's just to show results, and the transparency part is here, what made this possible. And also, you've been asking for this because you know what, I don't have time to learn. Can I just give you my 10,000? I'm like, no, you need to learn. And then all of a sudden, all of you, were asking. So they just
so Admi, there are different types of investors, right? Not all of us have the time to learn.
Yes.
Some of us don't have the time to learn. But those of us that do, I encourage you to learn more about it, because whether you're investing in 401k, 403b, 527, or any other investment vehicle, you need to understand what kind of growth you're achieving. And I can tell you, even the best investments out there are going to yield you on average a maximum of 15% per year. So let's put that into perspective, okay? You invested 100,000 into your retirement account, and at the end of the year, you made 15,000 on that investment. Guys, I don't know about you, but I can't live on 15,000 per year.
No.
Like,
Nobody.
1,000 doesn't cover monthly expenses for some people, right? But if it covers a couple of months of your expenses, that definitely doesn't cover your expenses for the year. And even when you add those 15,000 and then you accrue another 15% the following year and the following year, you are not ending up where you're supposed to be for your retirement, for bigger investments. Everything has gone up in price. The real estate market is going up in price. The price of living is going up. The price of healthcare is going up. The price of taking care of elderly is going up. Literally in every category, as you look across the board, the prices have gone up. So the money that we have notoriously put into our retirement, which is like 4,000 to 6,000 a year, is not earning us the returns that we need in the marketplace in the standard vehicles.
Correct.
I don't mean to say that you shouldn't invest into those vehicles. You should, but you should also diversify where you invest your money so that you have medium risk growth, you have low risk growth, and you have high risk growth, so that you're generating a variety of different cash flows.
And so I have a few messages here coming to put it in Spanish because they say, oh my God, it's
no.
So, básicamente, dos cosas súper importantes. So, SWAT Trading, junto con Nitrous Holding, está haciendo lo que se llama un fondo de inversión común protegido por el FDIC, lo que quiere decir que tu plata está protegida, ¿ok? No es simplemente que no sabes dónde estás poniendo. Tú vas a recibir, puedes empezar con $1,000, puedes tener 50,000, 30,000, cualquier cantidad de dinero que tú en este momento tienes, que no estás invirtiendo en ningún lugar, especialmente si estabas en la construcción o algo, lo puedes invertir en el fondo, ¿ok? Los detalles de cómo funciona, cuánto es la ganancia, cuántos son los fees, todo eso los vamos a dar el fin de semana en un webinar, vamos a estar constantemente haciendo todo esto, ¿ok? Entonces, eso es súper, súper importante que es de lo que estamos hablando ahora. So, Maria, I named this show The Apple You Do Not Want to Miss, right? So everybody is talking about Apple and what's happening with Apple, and there's so much news about it. And I think it just breaks my heart when I see, now that I know so much and I see my peers that they look at me like I'm a crazy person because I'm like, I don't check if how many likes I have or not. I'm checking how much is my fund moving on my applications, right? Or investing. But Apple is a big conversation right now. And we also want to break it down on the webinar. So tell us a little bit, not too much, about Apple and what's coming into the future.
So in the near future, guys, Apple is going to do a 4-to-1 split, which means that from $400 that the stock is worth today, I don't remember exactly how much it was worth today. It was like 440, 430, somewhere in that range. So from that amount, the stock is going to be split 4 ways. So it will cost a little bit over $100. And folks that weren't able to purchase the stocks at $400 per share are going to have an opportunity to purchase the stock. And the stock is also expected to grow higher, almost, if not entirely, back to the amount that it's worth today, very shortly after that.
And what happens to the owners that keep the stock at 400. Let's just
Our
talk for
money will double, triple, or quadruple, right?
exactly.
Depending on how quickly it grows.
So, so this is super, super important, right? And if you don't know how to trade, but you have this money, or even if you want to just take advantage of the Apple movement, make sure, you can send us your messages. There's really no excuses right now not to find information. Even if it's not us and we can bring some light to, to your investment, you can call your investors. If your brokers or investors are not calling you with this information, that you may want to consider calling them. It's a two-way relationship, right? Our mission as Cash Bootcamp and SWAT Trading is to truly bring you light and bring you some type of ideas. You can share this information with someone who may or may not like it. I mean, may not need it, right? But it's super important that you understand this. We are in the middle of the pandemic. The world has changed. Do not think or expect that the economy is going to come back to where it was just because restaurants and clubs are going to open. It's not going to happen. So many companies already filed for bankruptcy and think about this, right? Let's just talk about just shopping alone, right? So Victoria's Secret, Lucky Brand, Newman Marcus, and so many other companies. We had a show about this, right? So, but the stock market is the infinite possibilities. You make money in when the market is going down, you make money. When the market goes up, you make money. There's so many vehicles. So don't stress. If right now you're going through a financial stress that you don't know where you're gonna get the next dollar, and you have a little bit of time, just invest in yourself, invest in your education. The courses that SWAT Trading is offering, they go as low as $30 a week. Your first week is for free. And one thing you can know this for sure. You're not gonna learn, nobody learns how to ride a bike on the first try, right? It's a process. And then if you like riding bikes, you're gonna become a biker for the rest of your life. And then if you don't, then you're gonna use your bike whenever. So that's why we have the fund where you can invest. And you also have the option to monitor where your money is going. But do make that investment on trading. It's time that we make it the thing that is cool to talk about trading instead of being afraid from it. There's so many myths about the stock market that we don't get into it because we think it's only for the wealthy. We think it has to have all these major information or degrees. No, most of the successful people in the stock market, they haven't even finished college or high school, but they're committed with their learnings.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Maria.
Sorry about that, guys. Admi, you definitely bring up a good point. And whether you guys learn to trade for yourself or you learn to trade as a profession, it all benefits you in the long run. If you are a carpenter and you know where your money is invested in your retirement fund and you know how to trade, you can always watch to see how your fund is performing and reinvest in the right areas. So you would have greater control of your money. Yes, there is a fund manager for every fund out there. Yes, when you're putting money into a lot of these vehicles, it's a long-term investment. And if the fund falls, you're losing money. But if you're watching the market, at least on monthly basis or quarterly basis, and you can tell the fluctuations in the market or what's going on, you'll know when to pull that money out for cash before you are reinvesting it into non-profitable vehicles or keeping it in areas where it's just going to keep basically declining in value. So for those of you that aren't interested in managing your own funds in your retirement accounts and other trading accounts, look for them into an IRA, doing a rollover into an IRA and being able to manage those funds on your own. Again, it doesn't have to be hours and hours monthly or yearly. It could be a couple hours a year that you're just reinvesting the money at the right time into the right vehicles.
Correct.
And you're in control of your funds.
and timing is super important. And
Absolutely.
we have reached to our time. So Maria, how do we find more information about, for the people who want to invest, if you have sitting down some money that you want to invest and you don't really want to learn how to trade it, this is a very, very good option for you. If you are into other business that you may not be investing right now, or you just need to make some, some investment. This is not a quick cash thing. Just know that. If you want to make quick cash, get into the classes, learn, and you'll be able to have a weekly, monthly cash flow. But the funds is specifically for investments.
Correct. So we are going to have the presentation on Saturday, and you guys will be able to find out more about the fund. We do have agreements that we could send to you guys for review if you want to learn more about the terms of the fund. But as any legal agreement, it's best to see and learn more about it through a presentation. So I would definitely recommend speaking to one of us, or going to our website to find our information about the live classes, or joining us on Saturday if you can, so you could learn more about the fund, ask questions that you have about the fund, and make sure that you're fully clear on what you will be investing your money into. There you can check the growth of the fund on monthly basis, weekly basis, and just any other questions that you might have.
Exactly. So, and we're going to be doing a lot of this, just Q and A's. I think it's super cool to be able to connect. Sometimes we get your questions in the show, so it doesn't matter where you are right now, because you are, if you are on YouTube, you are in Facebook, you are in Periscope, you are. It doesn't matter where you are, what time it is.
Right.
Trust me, this information is something that it could truly, truly, truly stop the pain of stress of how are you retiring. The companies, just trust yourself. We were blessed. We have this perfect, perfect, perfect body, mind, everything to work, and is to use it, and there's this other thing, right? When people are like, you know what, I'm okay, I don't need that much. Yes, you're okay, is fine. But then, let's work on learning more, because progress and learning is what really makes you happy. It's what really makes you feel that you invested your time wisely. In your time, you're not going to get it back. And these opportunities, like with Apple, it doesn't happen all the time. So you do want to definitely take a look at this. You have nothing to lose. At the end of the day, you are going to learn and have experience on we're on trading at least. So, Maria, thank you so much. Tell us your phone number so people can text you.
You guys can reach me at 240-393-5299. If you have additional questions about the fund, about the SWOT trading, feel free to reach out to me. I'm accessible. I'm available. You could reach us at team@swattrading.com. If you want to contact us by email, we really make ourselves available for any questions out there. And if you guys have a chance to participate on Saturday, please join us, because somebody might have a question that you wanted to ask or didn't know to ask, and you will get the answer to that question during our demo.
Yes. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much to all of you that they were here with us. I think, information without action is just information. We really hope that you had fun, you learned something, and you were able to answer some of your questions. So, I'll see you all at the top of success.
Thank you, guys.
Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.